Hey everyone, welcome to the So Far So Good podcast. This is Nisha.
I'm Ekta.
I'm Aryan.
And today we are going to be talking about a couple of things. It is very much related to the current events going on because every day there is something crazy going on, and how can you not talk about it? So we try to choose topics that are not as that won't get us in trouble and not as cancelable.
I know. I wish we could talk about more though, but we're holding back, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the comments on social media that I've seen, I feel that I'm actually against the grain and what majority of people believe in. So I'm not throwing myself out there.
Already you're getting canceled for that.
Yeah, but whatever. Okay. First, we're going to be talking about TikTok, okay? The whole situation around that, our thoughts on it. And then after that, we're going to be talking about this mandate that a lot of companies are doing, asking people to go back to the office, and just our thoughts about that. Because honestly, actually here we have a perfect blend of each. Ekta has to go to the office every single day. Aryan has to go some days a week. And I work from home. So that's going to be an interesting thought there, right? Okay. Yeah,
oh my
so
gosh.
let's
we should do it like debate style. Who has the best, like work experience kind of thing. And you debate your own.
But I feel that we're just going to end up reaching the same conclusion because I know us,
We're too agreeable.
We are. Okay, cool. TikTok. Do you guys use TikTok? Before the TikTok ban and then it getting unbanned.
I think I used it when it was like at its peak, like when it was most popular.
It's still at its peak, no?
I feel like when I was in high school, that's when it was like really, really big. Well, actually, no, it stayed big, low key.
No, yeah. Aryan thought that as soon as he left TikTok, that it was no longer at its peak.
No, actually, no.
Just because you chose.
That is true. No, because I feel like I always have to tell people I don't have TikTok. So yeah, low key, it's probably big. Yeah.
It is still, I'm pretty sure, the number one platform. I mean, I would say for the younger generation,
for sure,
it was. I think worldwide it's probably Facebook or something.
No way. Oh, maybe.
Sure,
Yeah.
maybe.
If we talk about generations, I mean, if you guys think of the old generation, what do you think? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Facebook.
No, I literally just said that.
But why was Aryan waiting to see what we would say?
I don't know. That was so random.
Aryan was so scared, bro. No, it was random because I literally just said that and you just repeated it. But
I think TikTok was very revolutionary in terms of like the Reels content. I think it was the first one to really make that like very popular. And then every other app like copied it, right? Like Instagram copied it, YouTube copied it.
No, but
even Facebook copied it, even though like
yeah, dude, yeah, crazy. Facebook is the one where it's just ew. Like, don't send me a link from Facebook to watch. They're trying so hard.
That's so true, bro.
No, okay. Was TikTok the OG though? Because I feel there was another one before that called Vine, maybe.
Right?
And then
that is true.
Someone bought Vine, I think, and then destroyed it. And then TikTok emerged and it just got really big. But I think Vine was popular too, right?
Vine was super popular.
Vine was pretty huge. I think the reason it died was because they wouldn't pay the influencers on the app, or they didn't pay them that much or something like that. So they stopped making content.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, no. According to ChatGPT, or actually, what does Google have? Because I typed it in Google.
What do you mean?
Because Google gives an AI overview. Is it Bard? Is that what Google's AI is called?
I think so.
Gemini, I think.
Oh, that's better. Thank God they changed the name. Okay, so it says Vine was a popular short-form video platform that existed before TikTok. Yeah, I was right. Vine launched in 2013, while TikTok was released in 2016. See? Meaning, and TikTok is a Chinese app, and low-key Chinese companies be
What?
copying. I don't want to talk. There you go. I'm going to get canceled.
Yeah.
And it says, yeah, Vine's key feature, users could create short looping videos that were limited to 6 seconds long. Why Vine declined? Despite its initial popularity, Vine faced challenges with monetization and limited features leading to eventual shutdown. Dang. That's crazy. Can you guys
Yeah, I've always
imagine if you're the
wondered
founder
why
of Vine? I would feel so bad. I feel
I
so
feel like
bad.
6 seconds is too restricting. Like
Yeah, but Aryan, it
like,
was
you
so
can't really make-
popular for its time.
Yeah,
But-
but I mean, I think eventually, like, people realize that, like short form content doesn't have to be like 5 seconds long. It can still be a little bit longer.
No, but remember, TikTok
more
also
variety.
started with a short time. You know
think
what I
so.
mean? And then
But
it's
not 6
increased. Aren't
seconds.
TikToks like now a minute long, or is it real?
Dude, some of them are like 5 minutes long, right?
No, I know.
That's what I heard.
Some of them
That's
are
what
whole
I'm saying.
YouTube video. I'm
crazy.
Like, what? Okay, so back to if we use TikTok. I think that was the question you asked. Didi, do you use TikTok?
No, and I feel so bad because during COVID was when we started using TikTok. We actually made TikToks, and I think our videos are
Why
still
are you
on
telling
TikTok.
people?
Because why not? It was funny. It was really funny. And
No,
honestly,
yeah.
I think TikTok could not have come at a better time because we were all at home. People were at home. You wanted something entertaining. And we finally had something in our hands besides YouTube, right? YouTube is always great. But like something new and disruptive that just, I just felt that COVID wasn't as boring, like staying inside because of
Yeah.
TikTok. Because we were creating content. Like it got us to create content. But then after that, I realized that I spend way too much time on TikTok. More than any social media app, I would just be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I just realized I needed to just cold turkey stop. But what's unfortunate is I had gotten Derek hooked on TikTok. But I backed out, and poor Derek like just continued and continued
I will
until
say-
recently. Like you have to cut it cold turkey, honestly, to
Yeah.
be done with it.
I think like TikTok more than any other app similar to it, kind of like even men get addicted to it, right? I feel like
Yeah.
a lot, like Instagram Reels and stuff maybe might be more for girls, but I don't know. When Justin got
Nah,
introduced,
that's
no,
not
that's not true,
what was
right?
I to say?
Wait,
As
why
long
did
as-
gender come into this? I don't like what. It's just
Well-
videos, right? It's just like short videos.
Okay. Well, I was kind of like, because Justin also got super addicted to TikTok, and I feel like a lot
no,
of guys
actually-
are super addicted to TikTok.
Maybe
as
because
compared to
a lot of
other-
times, yeah, Instagram, I think people think of primarily is for images and posting. And I feel guys don't
Aren't
post
even
as
on.
much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe they didn't entertain that as much versus TikTok. There wasn't really a gender yet. It was just
Yeah.
create content. That's it.
Oh,
It's like more
I see what you're
YouTube.
saying.
Yeah,
y'all
Aryan,
kinda see
dumb.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point, like there's no gender anymore, right? With
No,
Instagram
for
Reels.
sure. I think it's just like the thing.
It depends on who you talk to.
I guess what it is
I feel like I
TikTok
get
is,
way
like,
more people
everyone can
sending me
use it.
like Instagram Reels and be like, "Oh, go watch this TikTok," right?
Maybe because they know you don't have TikTok.
I mean, I guess, but do people really send y'all like TikToks on? What's
No, you know what? No facts.
Tic Tac.
People don't
TikTok.
send me Tic Tac. People don't
like?
send
do
me
people
TikToks
send y'all
anymore.
TikToks on
No.
the TikTok app? Like, who does that? Right?
What Justin does that all the time.
No, but
Or,
then
like,
when I log
used
into
to, but not
TikTok,
really
I
anymore.
see it's there. Ian, it's because we're not on it.
Yeah,
That's why.
All right, we send more Instagram Reels because I don't think any of us are on it. That's why
Yeah.
we send the Instagram Reels. But I think a lot of people are just using TikTok as their main.
Remember, Derek was on TikTok, but then in order for him to share to us, he went on Messenger, pasted the link, and I
Yeah.
absolutely hated the web experience of it, and he stopped sending
Yeah,
it.
I can't access any of those. But like the thing is, Instagram's just better, right? Because it's more versatile. Like you have the posts, but you also have TikTok in the Instagram app, basically, right?
Dude,
you have, like, all
Facebook
of
is such a
TikTok inside
copier.
Instagram,
Yeah.
right?
that is really
Like,
that's-
wait, what
Facebook is
what did TikTok have that Instagram didn't have? Right?
That's it. No. I
Aryan,
think the
the
Reels
difference,
came
though-
after TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, doesn't TikTok just become like obsolete?
Aryan,
Yeah,
no.
I agree.
Okay,
Oh.
What I've been hearing from people that use it is the vibe on TikTok is just different. Their algorithm
fun.
is different. Like apparently they give you better, their algorithm's better. So they give you better videos that like you're obsessed with more than on Instagram. That's what I keep hearing. Like people didn't want TikTok to be banned because the algorithm's so good and people get hooked on TikTok more. I could totally see that, you know? Like your app can only be good as your algorithm. So, and I think there's also more creators on TikTok. So it's like you also have more videos to choose from. And then one of my friends was also saying, and she makes like TikToks and stuff, that she feels like TikTok is more like younger and like cooler. Like Instagram is more like older and people are more like structured, so more curated. Whereas TikTok, like people will make like whatever kind of videos and that's totally okay. It's a different vibe. So I think that's the case for it. Okay, but let's talk about how did y'all feel when you heard that TikTok was going to be banned? Like what were your thoughts? Aryan?
I mean, I really didn't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was kind of happy, honestly. I was like, at least people will stop sending me TikToks and like I can't even watch them. I mean, I don't know if it had like a super positive impact on like society. Like I don't know, like maybe like we're better off without it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, also I don't want
agree.
China to have all of our like data. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if I would trust them with
sure.
all of our
Yeah.
like what
Listen-
we're watching and what we're looking at and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I feel like people have a pretty easy alternative with like other social media apps. So it's like, is it that? I don't know. So I
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't really care.
Okay, Didi, what
Yeah.
did you think?
How I found out about TikTok being banned was honestly just, it was the talk of the entire last year. And I was just thinking, it's never going to get banned. Y'all just keep talking about it. White House moves so slow, or Congress and whatever. But then it actually got banned. And that was crazy to me. And then it came back on the next day, which was so stupid.
I
yeah.
felt the same way as Aryan, like, and I think a lot of people did. Even people, I think, that loved TikTok, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think a lot of people, they were sad that it was going away, but they were kind of okay with it because everyone knows how much time that they spend on it and what it's doing to their brain at this point. So people were like, they were making jokes about it being banned. You know, they're like, like just making like, as if the world was ending, like videos on TikTok, where it was like telling people their deepest, darkest secret before like it goes away. And I'm just like, bro, there are other apps. You're still in, like the world is actually not ending. But yeah, and I personally was excited for it to go away. I don't really use it, so that is very selfish of me to say. And also, I know some people make money on it and stuff. But I think overall, like Aryan said, TikTok has a more negative impact on society, I think, than positive. And since so many people use it, I feel like if it was banned, it would have done something good for society.
No,
So I was
okay.
kind of sad when I came back.
I don't think so. I think TikTok's gone. People are still gonna go back to Instagram. I mean, look at freaking Facebook. Okay, listen, I used to not be that anti-Facebook until recently, and now I'm super anti-Mark Zuckerberg. But they are constantly just trying to copy other platforms. You know, like Twitter, they have Threads, which is disgusting. I don't even want to use it. You know, and now they have
Who
Reels.
uses that, right? Like,
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's just don't try to get me to use that. You know.
Wait, do y'all get like if you're on Instagram, it shows you like a Threads thing and like
It
asks you
does.
to basically click on it and then you're like
I have
it's
to download
telling
a
you to-
whole
Yeah,
app.
and I'm like, heck no.
Not
No, I'm
doing
not
all
going to do that.
bro.
I'm not going to do
it's
all that.
crazy.
So I don't necessarily think that getting rid of TikTok is going to get rid of this social media problem. We've had issues with social media before TikTok, I think. And when TikTok goes away, I think Meta is just going to be really happy because more people are just going to move to Instagram. I mean, I have an influencer that I follow specifically on Instagram, and she was saying that I posted this on Instagram Reel because TikTok doesn't exist anymore. So they're going to just move to another platform, you know? And so I think it's just not going to solve the problem. And this is an interesting view. I looked up on Reddit on just like, you know, what are some other thoughts around why are people so mad about TikTok being banned? I mean, I wasn't that mad because I wasn't using it that much. But it says, someone said the real problem is not the app itself, it's the censorship and control of what media should be consumed according to the government. Now, that's a different perspective, you know, because yeah, we're saying, oh, China has all our data and whatever. But then what about all the crap that Facebook is doing with our data? You know, it's just.
So I actually heard.
Where do you draw the line? Who is more evil? You know, do we even know?
I heard
Both
recently
are evil.
that like Facebook is like removing a lot of the censorship that it has like over its content. So you're gonna. And people are saying this is like not a good thing. Some people are saying it's a good thing. Some people are saying it's a bad thing. Because like the thing is, you might see a lot of like weird stuff now. You know, things that you wouldn't want like your kids to see. You know, things that like people in general don't think should be seen. You know, I mean, it's like I think it's a good kind of like experiment. You know, it's like everyone wants all the censorship to go away. So when we remove it, let's see how people react. You know, let's see if it becomes like less toxic or more toxic. I don't know, we'll see. But I think at the end of the day, like that's definitely true that TikTok gets banned. It doesn't solve the social media problem. I honestly feel like the social media problem is a personal individual problem that like
exactly
I mean like kids obviously like kids will like that's the hard part. Like kids will consume anything. Like their brains aren't developed enough to like be making these kinds of decisions. So it becomes like up to parents, you know, how do you regulate your kids like access to this content that's literally like I think like destroying their brain, like making them like drones,
and that's why I stopped using TikTok, you know, although I do spend time on Instagram, but I think it's more of self-control. People, you know, or someone has to stop you, but then you're not going to like that.
In a capitalist world, you can't rely on companies to do what's best for society. That doesn't make any sense, right? You need to, as a family, you know, as a parent, you have to be proactive in like, in how like your kids are accessing these things that companies make, you know, not the other way around. It doesn't work like that.
That's so true. But so then, do y'all think that's even possible though? Because I feel like companies are creating these social media platforms that are so incredibly addictive, like that you're like you almost like don't really have a choice in the matter. Like it would take all of society,
scary, right?
Or most of society to be like, okay, I'm gonna stop freaking going on these platforms, and then they're not sharing videos with other people, and it doesn't feel like people are missing out on news and all of this stuff. So if like the companies aren't going to do anything about it, the government can't do anything about it, and the people, I almost feel like it's not their choice. They just make it so addicting to where you cannot stop.
What is the country?
We are so screwed.
I do think. Listen, I think if you're an older individual, your brain has already developed, right? And you have a normal mental health state. Then I think you have the right. You have the right to choose. It's your life, whether you're screwing it up or not. But I think there is a country where they have banned social media until a child reaches a certain point or something. I think it's Australia. I'm trying to find it. But I think that's important, you know? I think at least children, we should try to give them as normal of a childhood as possible, and then they can choose if they, you know, because I think social media is a vice, you know, That's just how it turns into. Oh yeah, so it says in Australia, a high-profile social media ban for young adults under age of 16 will take effect at the end of the year, prohibiting them from creating accounts on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, and Snapchat.
Awesome.
The ban was
Like-
necessary measure to protect children.
I think, Aryan, I think that's what it'll take.
And that also
Companies
creates a
aren't gonna do
diverse
anything
thought,
about
right?
it,
And
but-
society. Yeah.
Yeah, because at this point, I feel like even research shows how bad it is. It's like an addictive substance you're not going to give to a kid, right? But social media is that. It's very addictive. Like literally, even for me, like if I ever go on Instagram Reels and I'm scrolling, like I genuinely cannot move my body or stop myself. It is so freaking scary. No matter how, like, I'm not even enjoying it anymore, but like nothing can make me just like snap me out of it and then get me out. And I'm older, so I have, a little bit more perspective on it, and I know how important it is that I get off. But younger people, they don't have that. So I really think like something like that is going to be
How
necessary.
do these,
It sounds
like-
scary, but
I'm always a bit skeptical about like bans that are like age related, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to
You
like
just fake the age.
like the way you're like accessing it is through a phone, right? How do they know?
Yeah,
Like, can they
that's so
really
true.
can they really figure it out? But also the age, right? The age is 16. If it was like 18 or like 21 or something, I feel like it would be more like it would work as intended, maybe a little bit better. But 16 is like you can't really check if people are 16, like kids don't have like ID cards and whatever. Like
that's so true.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, like
Yeah.
hopefully it works. I don't know, but like at the end of the day, I feel like if like let's say Australia, they start making less content geared towards like 16 and under, like America is still making that content for the kids in Australia. They're still making it, like the UK and all these other countries are still making that content. So I feel like kids will access it anyways. I don't know.
The people
No,
might
super
find
good
work
point.
on it.
Very
It's
good
an
point.
interesting. Let's see how it gets done. I wonder if end of the year means this end of the year or it's already in effect. There's one on. There's an article on NPR that's talking about this, but I don't have time to read it. But I think it's interesting. I saw this post on Reddit just now that said it's going to be interesting. These 16-year-olds or young adults are going to think about why they are more ahead of the world than the rest of the world. Just because they're off of social
Dude,
media.
I
They're
just
probably
read this thing.
thinking everyone's dumb.
I just read this thing that says tech companies have also argued that blocking kids from being on social media will drive them to darker, less regulated corners of the internet.
Oh my God.
Because they'll try to find something to fill that gap. which
Okay,
is
but
less
social media
But
regulated.
how
now
bad is
isn't
it going to
being
be compared
regulated.
to, compared to
No,
I mean-
tech
already
companies be
bad
saying
effects?
this because they don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
people off.
I mean,
their
yeah,
phone.
they're saying whatever they
It's
can.
coming from, so
But that doesn't invalidate like their point, right? Like
True, but-
obviously they'll try to find other forms of media to like consume. And I mean, we all know that there's very dark parts of the web,
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff out there,
But
so
I think that goes with almost anything. If you try hard enough, even if it's like you'll find a way, right? Even if it's illegal. But I do think that knowing that, it's banned under 16, I'm just not going to try it. Parents are going to try to enforce, it's just kind of like any other thing, right?
least
Where,
it'll do
hey,
something.
don't break the law. It's like, cool, I'm not going to try. It's a deterrent, I still think. But anyways.
it'll be interesting to see how they do it and if it works.
Okay, so we got to move on to our next topic. But before I move on to the next topic, after TikTok got approved again, did you guys get on it?
No, I wasn't even on it
No.
to begin with.
No.
And the way I was so mad.
Why are we doing
because,
this
like,
episode?
I was so mad because, like, there are bigger problems to focus on, and the way they put so much energy and effort into something like this, which is so like unimportant, kind of like made me. I'm saying again, so unimportant, but I know some people make money through TikTok, blah blah blah. But there's so many issues in the world, but the way they focused all their energy on something, and I think it was because to gain support. You know what I mean? Like it was a political move to get this back on. Even the way it was all done.
Like Donald Trump saved TikTok.
Yeah,
That's the
like the
image.
way it was all done, it was like such a dumb freaking thing. And it's just annoying to me that it just kind of shows, I feel like politicians are literally just playing a game, and what matters the most is getting support versus fixing real issues.
I think like they're thinking about how beneficial it would be to like the US economy if we, bought TikTok, That would be like huge, wouldn't it? Like now we suddenly own TikTok. Now we're super powerful, Now it's crazy.
Yeah, and I hope someone in the US does buy it, because I do kind of get the security concerns. Like,
I can see
social
it.
media is so influential, and it's kind of tough to have like China, literally an enemy of the US, have that much, like just data, and also like kind of control over it. They can push videos, right? Don't they control the algorithm? So
probably. Especially maybe alter or, propaganda even show very hand selected videos to people. But I think right now the state this whole situation is they're still trying to find a buyer, right? I think Trump said that they are in talks with different companies to find a buyer.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Putting that to rest, let's move on to our next topic, which is people work from home basically slowly going away. I don't think it will permanently ever go away, but a lot of major companies are calling their employees back. I think Amazon is one of them, right? And some other ones. But what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Personally, I feel like they've been doing that. So I think it's better for society if people go into the office more days out of the week than not. I still think like 5 days out of the week is a lot, and we no longer, like, society no longer accepts that extremely like work, like that's the main purpose of your life. So 5 days a week is a little insane, but I think fully remote work produces bad quality work. And I think there needs to be a work from home and in office balance, personally.
Yeah, I mean the way I see it, like, again, like, we live in a capitalist world, right? Companies will do what they think will generate the most profits. And I assume that companies have like ran the numbers, right? They have tried to see, okay, how productive are we when most of our employees are working from home versus how productive are we when they're going into office more, things like that. And I assume since all these companies are telling people you got to come back, like Amazon's saying 5 days a week, bro, you have to come back.
I think Chase is also one of the companies.
In general, it means that people are more productive when they're in office. That's what I'm assuming. But you also have to think about people have gotten used to being able to have the freedom to be at home, right? So restricting your employees' freedom isn't always good for like keeping them at your company, right? So I think they do have to strike a balance. They do have to strike some sort of like hybrid balance or whatever. Because personally for me, I'm like, bro, I don't want to work at Amazon 5 days a week. 5 days a week. And they literally track when you like enter the office and when you leave the office, and they're tracking how long you're there and everything.
It's getting worse. Now they're actually tracking with all the
now
technology.
I'm gonna feel like, dude, I just feel like I'm being like watched. I'm being micromanaged. I'm being like making sure that I'm being as productive. Like I'm a monkey. I'm like being as productive as possible. So like now that people are used to being able to like be at home, like that's an issue, I think, for them.
Yeah. It seems like Trump has just been signing executive orders after order after order after order.
Ain't that the truth?
It's like, what's the point of having a House and a Senate? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because isn't it like both the Republicans now? It's owned by Republicans, so things will likely pass. So I guess might as well just fast track through executive order. But it says that Trump signed an executive order. This is according to the New York Times, requiring federal department heads. Okay, that's specific heads to terminate. Oh, never mind. requiring federal department heads to terminate remote work arrangements and requiring all federal workers to return to in-person work 5 days a week.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Every day I find a new executive order he signed. I was telling Didi and okay, not to get off topic, but the Gulf of Mexico is no longer the Gulf of Mexico. It's the Gulf of America. So that was something that was crazy to me.
It was
I didn't even know
I
that
saw
happened.
this reel, somebody, because, my feed is full of, like we have friends in our circle that Trump supporters that are not Trump supporters, right? So we kind of get to see both sides. And so it's one of my Trump supporter friends, they posted, I don't know, these guys were on an airplane, and the pilot goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, on your left is the Gulf of America." And then people go, "USA." I'm like, ugh.
Oh my god!
But it wasn't a lot of people. This looked like a private jet with just like a bachelor trip of 5 guys.
Dude,
They're like, like imagine frat boys. That's what was happening. I was
again,
like, okay,
I feel like there
all
are
right,
bigger
cool.
problems in the world.
But
Like why like these things just seem like it's just assertive for whatever reason and kind of bothers me,
we'll
but
see.
it also like doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything, right? But
yeah, right. Like, are we?
Annoying,
Like,
there are
what,
bigger
I don't know what
problems in the-
effect that did. Like, whatever.
Wait, but
anyways,
going back to the work from home thing. Do y'all think it's actually like better for society that like as a society we force people to actually get together and see each other in real life? At least some of the time.
I agree.
Isn't it good for your mental health?
100%.
Because even school, right? I bet most kids wouldn't want to go to school, right? But like by forcing them, we force them to like be social,
Yeah.
and force them to make friends and talk and learn how to speak to people,
Yeah.
When we're at home, we don't even have our cameras on, We have like
Yeah.
that luxury of being able to do whatever we want, look however we want. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's not how the world works, but now I guess that's how the world works. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
I agree.
being in the office is also one reason to not be on your phone. Which, if you work from home, like any little break you get, you can like scroll. But like when I'm in the office, I'm never scrolling. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be caught dead scrolling on my phone, even if I was like on my break. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely think it's better for society. I think I've realized like the most growth I've ever had, personally, professionally, just within myself, was because of work. Like work taught me more than college ever taught me, than college ever taught me. So
Yeah, same,
I feel like
100%.
if I didn't
100%.
go into the office, like I would be a much more, like I think I would find it harder to talk to people. I would find it harder to talk to people, professional people, because unless I'm in a meeting and I have to speak, I wouldn't be speaking to them at all. Versus if you're in person, you talk to more people as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just become
Okay.
lazier.
Aryan, what are
when
your
you're at home.
thoughts? Because Ekta, that's your perspective, having always worked from home, right?
You mean in
Aryan,
office?
for your internship, did you do remote?
My internship was like 3 to 4 days in person.
Okay.
Because they encourage interns to go in more. so
Okay.
I
So
did.
what is your perspective of working hybrid?
So I do 2 days in person, but my perspective is a little different because I think this is true for a lot of people, but like if you have to commute far for work, it's hard, to be going in a lot. It's like, if you
Then
have to,
you're almost losing productivity. I'm just gonna go ahead and say
Yeah.
it. If people are driving an hour, 30 minutes, or whatever, to and forth, that's a waste of just your time. 100%. And I don't think it and it reduces, I think, personal happiness and satisfaction. I think maybe, especially coming from, at least for me, work from home, where I can just roll out of bed, get more sleep, and then jump into a meeting. Having to go completely back full time is going to be a huge shock to me.
Yeah, that's why it's a balance. You
it's
know,
a
you
it's
need
a
the
hybrid. I
balance
think
of
hybrid is
work-life
really like the
versus-
way the way
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
I think companies should maybe transition, or I don't know. I would say that working from home, I think there's pros and cons. I don't think there's just like one simple answer. I haven't been in a hybrid environment, so I don't know if that's the perfect answer. But I personally think that I am extreme, like, because I used to work in the office full time. I am very productive when I work from home. Like, I get a lot of stuff done. In fact, like, some people, I don't know how other people work from home, but when I work from home, I don't know what people imagine that always work in the office, like, oh, they're just like dilly-dallying or whatever. No. So I forget to eat lunch almost every single day. Like, Derek has to tell me, like, he's like, you have to eat. Like, today I forced myself go eat lunch, and then I came back up. But work from home, like, I not only feel super productive, but I'm able to spend time with my dog. You know, I'm able to spend, and it makes me feel fulfilled. I'm able to take him on a walk. It makes me feel like I'm not only accomplishing work goals, but then also sometimes little personal goals that I have. And I don't have to squeeze it in from 6 to 9. You know, I'm able to actually, like, I have more time. I work out more frequently. I don't know. I can't speak for other people, but I work really hard at my job. And, you know, the speaking thing, right? Like the public speaking thing, I think I would continue to get better if I was in person, but it depends on your role. I mean, mine is a customer facing role. I have to be vocal. Yes, my video is not on, you know, but I think I've gone pretty far in still finding my voice and speaking up. And I've come really far, I would say, even more than I was when I was working in person. But it'd be interesting to see how I might have evolved. But if companies force me to go back to the office, I'll do it because I need the money. I'm not gonna So it's just interesting.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I get the social
it depends on the
aspect.
person.
Yeah, and I get the social aspect, right? But working from home, because I miss the colleague interactions, it's forced me to find socialness outside of work. And that's been very nice. I think it's made me even extra, like, well-rounded. Like, I made friends at the gym. I made sure that I found because I do miss and crave socialness, right? I started going to, like this networking group that my friend created, and go to those events because I got to meet people, right? And it's been really fun. I signed up for my fitness classes, and I go do that, So I make sure that every weekend or most weekends I go out and enjoy, and see people. So I don't know, versus, spending time in commute, coming home at like 7, and then I don't have time to do anything else. I think I've actually have a more balanced, and I think my satisfaction at work is higher. Although, going to the office, it forces me to dress up, but that's something, again, that's discipline. I can force myself to dress up in the morning, and, So it's just, and also Derek was saying this the other day, what does productivity mean? It depends on every job role, right? How do you measure productivity? Once people can measure productivity, compare, what is the reason that you're, and I think right now, a lot of the shift of companies asking people to go back is, again, more of a political move to align themselves with the current administration. Just like, these DEI initiatives are getting cut out. A lot of companies who had DEI, they're like, okay, yeah, we're pulling back. We don't want to do those anymore. Facebook.
That's crazy.
Just so that tells you how corporate America and all these companies, no, seriously, all these companies, they just flip flop. They will always do what serves them. And right now, for a lot of these companies, it's aligning themselves with the current administration because they're scared. So.
Okay. No, I will say going in office is super, super draining. Like, extremely draining. After you
it's
come
a lot
back,
of fun, though,
really
I would say, if you have the right environment.
I
I had a lot of fun.
right
Like, I don't think I have fun during my work day when I work from home. That's for sure.
Yeah, it can
Like,
be
I would go
more
on
fun
tea breaks, coffee breaks, lunch breaks, like,
Yeah, I do. I will say I agree with you in that some people are different and they don't like, maybe for me it requires me being in the office to be like extremely productive. But I think for some people who are naturally just like so good at focusing and stuff, like if they're at home, they're going to be way more productive because they don't have coworkers constantly stopping by to talk
That was
to them.
me.
It's
When
like,
I used to
wait,
work in the
producing better
office,
work.
every 5 minutes, I'll just look at my coworker and be like, "You want to go get some snacks?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna
I
go
think
do
for
this?"
people
It's
that
so
are
fun
more
to just
social-
gossip. You know,
Yeah.
it's so fun to just gossip, man.
For people that are more social, and I would say I am one of those people, it's like I love talking to my coworkers, and sometimes that's a distraction from getting my work done. And when I have a lot of work to do, like I would rather be working from home. I will agree with you there. You kind of like
Yeah, you shut
shifted
yourself
my
in a room.
perspective a little.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think companies should just do it just because. I think
Yeah.
it's got to be a hybrid.
Like,
situation.
I think it needs to be thoughtful. I don't think they should just do a blanket. Okay, everybody go to the office. Like, all right. But then again, it's
Yeah,
their
that can
loss
be
if they're
annoying.
not going to get as productive employees. Aryan, last thing before we hop off, but when you go to the office, do you think you're more productive versus when you're at home?
I think in general, if I get out of the house, I'm always more productive. I think I'm honestly like I'll go to like a coffee shop even if I'm working from home because
But
I
then
know
you're
I'll
by
get more stuff
yourself,
done.
though. You know what I mean? You're by
Yeah, but
yourself,
even when I'm in
though.
office, when I'm in office and I get there early, and that's when I get the most work done. And then people
Yeah.
come and I get like less productive.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that was interesting. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode. Would be curious to hear or put in the chat or text us, I guess, because it's a very small audience that listens to our podcast.
Literally personally
just
text
what are
us.
your thoughts on work from home and TikTok? It's just always nice to hear other people's opinions and all that. But thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Hopefully you're happy with the consistency.
Bye.
I'm happy with
Okay.
the consistency. Okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.